They are just servile toadies to the goddamn ruling elite. That is it. They're not there to fucking fix their mistakes. The mainstream media put forward this bullshit, but also that now, currently, they should put out a retraction, put out a statement, even just a little statement. Even if MSNBC did one little segment where they said, hello, fuck faces, we've been lying to you for years. No, even if they didn't say that, maybe that's exaggeration. Even if they didn't say that, they said, hello, it turns out we were wrong about Hamilton 68, and we were taken for a ride on this, and I know it's a little too late, but we're sorry. Even if they just did that one statement. But here's what happened is they went to make the video and to make maybe an article or whatever to say, here are the articles about referencing Russian bots, referencing Hamilton 68. And they found that it was so many that they couldn't come close to doing the job. They simply, it would take 1,000 journalists trying to put together how many times these lies had been put forward. So instead, they put together one video that's 11 minutes long, and I'm not going to show it all because it would break your brain, just on this subject, just on one station, that station being MSNBC. Here's, as they write, covered in Sheer Post, the plan was a comprehensive count with a sizable team of smart temporary hires, each looking into a different area of the Twitter files. We thought counting all the mainstream news stories that would need retracting or correcting in light of information found in Twitter documents would make for an easy little sidebar, something simple for the public to digest. If you used the Hamilton dashboard of accounts as a source for a story about Russian bots, you probably needed to either retract altogether or add a note to these old articles, meaning an article from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They should add a note saying the Russianness and the botness of those accounts has since been called into question. That's all. Here's the thing is Matt Taibbi, despite how much I like a lot of his work, sometimes I don't know if it's like being professionalism, or he is just a bit naive, but he seems to think that there's still real journalism in this country, which amazes me. Like at times you'll hear him go, and I thought that they would add a retraction or a little statement under the article saying that this has been called into question. I'm like, no, they wouldn't. I'm not saying he does that all the time, but I've heard him say things like that occasionally. And I'm like, what do you think this mainstream? And he knows these mainstream writers way better than I do. Like he has been sitting in the rooms with them hundreds of times. He was on the campaign trails with various politicians. Like he knows these people. And yet I seem to have a bit of a more jaded view of media than in some regard he has. Because I'm like, no, they're not going to add a retraction. No, they're not going to sit there and fix their mistakes. Who do you think these people are? They are fucking courtesans and nothing else. They are just servile toadies to the goddamn ruling elite. That is it. They're not there to fucking fix their mistakes. Anyway, perhaps I'm a bit more jaded. But all right, here is the video, which I'm going to skip around in because 11 minutes would, again, cause you all to vomit and break your brain for the rest of the week. So this is just me skipping around in it.
McCarthy publicly charges that the United States is infested with
foreign forces at work in our politics.
He says that he has a list of
600 Twitter accounts that appear to be linked to the Russian government. That's a lie. These Kremlin-linked accounts, Russian-linked accounts, Kremlin-linked accounts, a foreign influence, Kremlin-oriented Twitter accounts, Kremlin-linked Twitter accounts, Russian-linked Twitter accounts, impersonating Americans.
They are every day playing on social media. There's a website called Hamilton 68 that measures
this Russian influence tracker on Twitter.
Now, this data comes from Hamilton 68. That's a web dashboard, and it tracks around 600 Russia-linked accounts, and it doesn't provide the names of those accounts.
I will not give those names.
Because if it did, the Russians could simply change them.
It's manipulated by Russian bots or others.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So, Ken, what are these bots trying to accomplish?
Well, they're trying to fan the
pushed by Russian bots. Russian bots in the hashtag release the memo.
This bot thing amplifying the release the memo hashtag.
And Russia used these bots, swarms of them, to advance certain hashtags like release the memo.
Accounts calling for that memo's release.
We saw it promoted heavily by accounts associated with Russian disinformation campaigns.
Russian Twitter bots.
Attack of the bots. Early promoters of the hashtag meet basic criteria for bots, for trolls.
Release the memo was pumped out by the bots.
The Russians, their secret service, their bots flooding with
The Russian-backed Twitter accounts.
Researchers say Russian-backed accounts, manufactured accounts,
malicious automated accounts.
They are on Kevin McCarthy's side. They are on Devin Nunes' side. They are on Donald Trump's side. Russian intelligence agencies and the Russian
Conversation that happens on social media.
The Russians are continuing to attack our democracy. They're continuing to interfere in our democracy.
1,000 Russian bots said that it was George Soros'
This is the news, so we always want to be as clear as possible. We're reporting on this just like Russian bots.
They get their narrative out there first.
Russia-linked actors pushing a propaganda bot picking up this hashtag. It was just sort of the right and the Russian working together
To get that Nunes memo out.
There were Russian bots and there were sort of other
Twitter hashtag by those Russian-linked accounts, Russian-linked Twitter bots, Russian-linked
Russian bots are promoting it.
According to the German Marshall Fund, a group that tracks their activity.
Devin Nunes, he's trying to release a memo that the FBI bots.
The Russian bots are at it again.
Russia.
Bots struck again.
Russia.
bots and operations created by Russians.
McCarthy begun an investigation of reported
600 Russia-linked accounts.
McCarthy had interrogated almost 600 people.
Hamilton.
These are all Russian accounts monitored by Hamilton 68, FISA-gate,
Russia.
Obama Deep State.
Russia.
We the people demand justice.
Russia.
That are Russian intelligence agencies, Twitter bots, to start talking about releasing a memo.
There are Russian bots after the Florida shooting.
Right.
This is what they do. And they're going
Okay, all right. I can't even fucking take anymore. Oh, and keep in mind that is a tiny sampling. It's 11 minutes long. I just showed you like less than 2 minutes. And also this is one network, MSNBC. I guarantee you they didn't get all of them. So on top of that, this is not including all the other cable news networks that did a lot of this shit. Yes, MSNBC may have been the worst, but CNN was right up there. Fox News even did a fair amount of it when it was useful to them. And then this is not including all of the written articles on this garbage about Russian bots used to malign anyone that the empire didn't like what they were saying, didn't like what was being revealed, didn't like what was coming out. Oh, it's all Russian. It's Russian bots. Of course, it ultimately, not just, here's the thing is before my TV show was canceled due to U.S. sanctions and all my videos deleted, even before that happened, and most of you know this, I had been suppressed and censored nearly into oblivion because I was considered to be part of this Russian bot garbage, which was completely fake. My videos were not shown to anyone. They wouldn't let your stuff grow and be viewed by many people. Even people sometimes would subscribe, and I don't know whether this level of suppression goes on still today. I think it's pretty close. I continue to be suppressed, but people would subscribe to my Facebook, my Twitter, my YouTube, and then they're unsubscribed and they don't know it. So the effort to like follow my videos has to be like a fucking job. Like you have to sit down and like have to work to try and follow my videos. And I'm just, one of the people that has been driven over by a fucking what are the machines that roll and the smooth the cement? The fuck's that thing called? I didn't study my construction machines. I'll just call it a flattener. Rolled over by these goddamn flatteners. Someone's gonna tell me here in a minute what those machines are called, but. And of course, this is useful, right? It is not called a road roller. It is not steamroller. Is it a steam? There's no steam involved. Come on, folks. You can do better than this.